Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing part 2 of my London trip. The first stop is Kew Gardens, and honestly, I probably should have stayed home this day because I still wasn't feeling great, but I had made plans with a very dear friend that I hadn't seen in a while, so I'm so happy I pushed through and got to experience going to Kew Gardens and bumping into an exhibition of Henri Moore's work. I wasn't very familiar with his work, so this was a lovely, pleasant surprise to get to experience a new artist. While we were walking through the gardens, we bumped into Queen Charlotte's house right there. And then the galleries inside had an exhibition of Henri Moore's smaller sculptures, which were just incredible. And also, my favorite was sketches of trees and sketches of his sculptures and journals. And so this was my favorite part of the exhibition, even though the sculptures were incredible. They were enormous and they were very voluminous, and you just wanted to get in there, like just wrap your body around them. So this is the exhibition book, which I purchased as a gift to myself. And here you can see some of those sketches again. And I just love this book, and I am so happy that I bought it back home. And it served as a bit of inspiration, a reminder while I was making the cover for my little journal. So this is the little journal I created for my visit to Kew Gardens. And on the inside of the journal, I have my notes again, like I did in the previous two journals that I shared in the previous video. And so inside I have notes about the day or about the exhibition. I cut up some of the exhibition pamphlet and pasted that down. I did a couple of watercolor sketches. And then the tree on the left is an actual sketch of a tree that I saw at Kew Gardens while we were walking. And then I painted that tree again as my cover in, I guess, the style of Henri Moore-ish. And I really loved this process. So I've shared before that my sister lives in London, and it is so lucky. She lives very close to Hyde Park and the Serpentine galleries. So this is a Serpentine North. There's also a Serpentine South. And every time I go and visit, we get to go and see a free exhibition, because there's always a free exhibition in both galleries actually. So this is a David Hockney exhibition. It is an exhibition of his sketches from a year in Normandy, and he sketched throughout the course of a year, I believe, during the pandemic. And then he used those sketches to create these digital sketches that are now, as you see here, put up in this kind of panoramic view across the entirety of the gallery, the perimeter. And it's just extraordinary. It's so, first of all, so beautiful. I love his colors, his mark making. I mean, there are trees, which are my favorite. The changing of the seasons also really speaks to how I love to journal and keep like fall journals and winter journals. So this was just wonderful. And again, I was not feeling great, but I'm so happy I pushed a little and did go out. So this weird kind of illness I had, on days I would feel a little bit better and then I would get worse again. So I'm glad I pushed through and was able to go and see this exhibition. I will often get the catalogs for exhibitions that I really enjoy or feel very inspired by. And this David Hockney one is actually in an accordion style. So you'd have to put this down on the floor with a lot of space to open it up completely. But it is a book with all of the sketches, the digital sketches from the exhibition. And now I have this here to kind of use as inspiration, not just for documenting the seasons, but his mark making is extraordinary, and I just love having this book. And the last little journal I created was on this day of going to Hyde Park. I used part of the catalog in the cover and then just kept that pattern to create the rest of the cover in different shades of green. And again, on the inside, I just documented some things from that day. I cut up the pamphlet again, that's at the top, and then I used his sketches to create my own sketches, just to document and keep this kind of little memento of that exhibition. And I did make the cover at home with acrylic paints. The inside I used what I had brought with me, the Neocolor 2 crayons and pencils. And so these are the two journals I created for those 2 days, those 2 exhibitions at Kew Gardens and in Hyde Park and the Serpentine Gallery. So this has been a really busy season of traveling and visiting family for different things like celebrations, milestones, and also a big life change coming up. And I feel like these handmade journals and using these limited supplies are going to be what sustain me through this period and to make sure that I keep a journaling practice going. So stay tuned next time for what that change will be.